No, turn it off. Turn it off. No, how did they do that? It all sounds the same. It's all just screaming and yelling. I mean, why would anyone want to do that? Well, today I'm here to tell you. If you're a metalhead like me, you've definitely heard those questions or any of those comments before. And well, today I'm going to go over this kind of taboo style of singing by answering the question, how can they do that? By going over the latest science in, well, metal vocals. I'll be going over the comment, it all sounds the same, by discussing 3 different vocal techniques. And of course, I'll be addressing what can go wrong and how to prevent it. So, let's get into the science of this. In a study done by Dr. Christoph Isabek of the San Francisco Ears, Nose, and Throat Medical Institution, he discovered how metal singers can scream for hours on end without hurting their vocal cords. And the answer may surprise you. He discovered that, well, metal screamers are just like big babies. Just as a baby can scream for hours on end when they're like in their cribs and then kind of go back to normal, that's kind of what metal vocalists do. As they're screaming, what happens is the air is pushed up, and instead of going into the vocal folds, what it does is it goes into the muscles above the throat, the aryglottis, the arc nodes, and the epiglottis, all muscles above the throat. And what he discovered is that it's not the vocal folds making the noise, it's all the muscles that are hitting together and percussing. And so this video behind me is kind of what that looks like.
Wait, that has never been done before. What you are looking at is slow motion video of one singer's vocal cords. The tissue folds vibrate under an expelled airstream to produce sound. He studied all the sounds the singer could make, from sucking air to screaming to high whistles to something Izdebski calls the heavy metal growl. So a growl.
And so then, how can you put that science into practice? Well, I'll be going over the 3 main types, the mid scream, the low screams, and then the low screams and the high screams. First, if you go over the mid scream, which is mainly done in pretty much all forms of metal, it's the most common, probably the easiest to learn. The way this one works is it's basically a normal talking voice just by pushing air all with your diaphragm into a very fast and very, what's the word I was looking for? Just basically by pushing a lot of air out through your diaphragm very fast. The high screams, which are mainly found in more extreme side of metal, mostly used for effect and other things, is kind of going into your falsetto voice and then doing the same techniques in a different way. And the lows, which are all, again, found in all forms of extreme metal, is when you drop your voice into a bass, kind of make an O with your mouth, and then expel all the air you have. And I have a question for you guys. Do you guys want to hear these? All right. Okay. So I kind of learned online through a bunch of different people. There's Volk Gerriets, the lead singer of Whitechapel, Phil Bozeman, Trivium, Matt Heffy, and then there's Melissa Cross, which I'll get into in the next slide. All right. I'm not very good at the high, by the way. So a low scream, like I said, is more of a talking and a bass with your O in your mouth, so it sounds something like this. I do this for fun. And then there's a mid scream, which is your normal talking voice, again with the air. So then here's the high, which your falsetto. So what happens if I do any of those wrong, or if anyone else does any of those wrong? Well, according to opera singer / metal vocalist trainer Melissa Cross, 3 main things will happen. And just like any normal singer, the chance of vocal stress is very present. And then also what can happen is vocal scarring. And Vocal scarring, which is normal, like it's scarring on the tissue and the muscles in your throat, which is normal, but the point is not to push it because it is new for your voice and you have to get over that. But if you do continue to push it, what will happen is your vocal cords will blow out and you'll look something like that. And just as the lead singer, Matt Heffy here, if you can see on his throat, that's kind of what happens when your vocal cords blow out. That's what it looks like. So how do you prevent that? There's many different ways, but Melissa Cross recommends not whispering. It can tighten up the vocal folds. It can tighten up your throat a lot. Another way is practice. Continuously practice every day. If you take a day off, make sure that you don't push yourself harder the next day, but you constantly want to practice. Another thing is limit your sugars. Don't coat your vocal cords in nasty stuff, gross stuff. The other one is warming up. Warming up is a huge part of it by singing, humming, doing anything you can, because if you're not warmed up, you're not going to be able to scream very well. Next thing, which is mostly for screaming, is focus on more the air control than the power of the air. And that just kind of means, and you can do that by different breathing techniques. Make sure you're not using your throat, but more your diaphragm and everything that you're doing. And then last is just keep your throat, take care of your throat, take care of your vocal cords. So now that we know a little bit more about this, let's go over what we learned. We have the science. So we'll answer the question, how can they do that? Well, the answer is using the diaphragm to push air fast enough into the vocal folds, or past the vocal folds into the muscles around. The next thing was it all sounds the same. Today we went over different techniques can create different tones and sounds. And then we answered the question, what can go wrong and how to prevent it? By saying small and major vocal issues can occur, and then protecting your vocal cords is the best way. So next time that you may hear a metal song or hear any of these screaming, and you wonder why, or you may want to say something like this, now you know the answer to it. Thank you.